Our next speaker is Nell Myhand. She's with Women of Color in the Global Women's Strike. In 2006, she succeeded in winning a campaign to get payments for her 83-year-old mother.
Step by step, the longest march can be won, can be won. Many stones to form an arch, singly none, and by union what we will can be accomplished still. Drops of water turn a mill, singly none, singly none. Thank you. So, you know, we're taking from the unions what is good and pressing them to do what they should. So So I wanted to start with that because it's only been through the collective effort of my family, my community, the Global Women's Strike and Legal Action for Women that we did win. And I'm here only because we did win. My mother is this fantastic person. She was a brilliant mother. She loved me just, you know, unconditionally. From the start, she talked to me when I was still in her womb, right? Preparing for me, welcoming me to the world. She was also a very important part of our community because even though the U.S. is a very rich country, there are a lot of poor people there. In the U.S., 20% of the population control 94% of all the wealth, which leaves 80% of us to divide 6% of the wealth, which clearly leaves a lot of us out. So in 2003, I went home to care for my mother. I thought I was going to say goodbye to her. And once I got there and started providing the care that she needed, she perked up. So I thought, there's the lesson, right? With the care, she survived. In December of 2004, after quite a long process of looking for appropriate help for her where she lived, we decided that she would have to come to live with me and my partner in California because we couldn't afford the care that she needed in her home in Ohio. In April of 2005, we applied for a program called In-Home Support Services. And that program is funded to really support elders and people who are living with disabilities to have the best quality of life for the longest time. Caregivers, it pays caregivers to provide that care so that they can remain in their homes and age in place. In April of 2005, we submitted her application. I had been warned that it would take several months for the bureaucracy's wheels to turn. After 6 months, with no response, I began to call inquiring about the status of the application. I got no response to the calls. So I began to write. In December of '05, I finally got a response from a social worker who came out to make an assessment. And in February of '06, they told us that she was not eligible because she is able to toilet herself, to feed herself, to dress herself. Those mechanical functions she is able to do. And they completely dismissed the reality of the dementia that she's living with, which causes her not only to forget things, but has impaired her judgment. So she would let strangers into the house, right? Her capacity to, make good choices that would keep her safe was clearly impaired. But when I pointed that out to the social worker and said to her, how am I to care for my mother and work outside the home to maintain our financial, well-being? She shrugged. Take her with you. So fortunately, I was already connected to Global Women's Strike and Legal Action for Women. So I didn't feel I had to fight that fight alone. I appealed their decision. Legal Action for Women provides, Legal Action for Women is a self-help legal resource. So they, they really strengthened me to be able to build the case. They accompanied me to the hearings, and they wrote letters along with me to the public and elected officials who were responsible for the program, demanding accountability. At the first appeal hearing, I was well prepared. I had been able to make a packet of the application documentation. I included letters, not only from Legal Action for Women, but also from my community members that had been helping me provide the care, to demonstrate that the care was needed, was being provided, and therefore the benefit should be paid. The program was already in existence. We were not asking for them to create a program for us, but merely to do what had already been mandated. But as Selma has already told us, they are not our friends, and they do not love us.